Let's see how it go. Hey, good morning,
What
you
up?
guys.
What up?
Oh man, happy. What day is it? It's Wednesday, right?
Wednesday.
I always forget what day it is. And somebody told me that when you're doing stuff like this, that
Hmm.
you're not supposed to say the date. And I'm like,
Gotcha.
I'm grown. Hey, my girl won.
She did. She
Miss
did.
Deborah, there's your girl
But
coming
but
in
on top
second.
of that, you got to remember that it look right behind. I'm telling you.
They won two every day, so
Yeah.
it's always a crapshoot.
But then it's
Thank you,
quarantine
Trish.
time too, so
Yeah,
you get a little lost. You get a little
true that.
lost in
True that.
the actual day of the week.
Yeah. Thank you for sharing, Lisa. I really do appreciate it. I'm sure Miss Deborah will share it to her timeline as well. Thank you, guys. If you are in here, please go ahead and share the broadcast out. AD is still on vacation. He is celebrating Sam's birthday, so he's not here. Um,
Birthday week or month.
yeah,
One
pray for
of them.
Pastor Brian, Dr. Chris. Before we get started, though, before I throw on the intro that I have, because I don't have the new one, I want everyone, if you are familiar with Marriage of God across social media, Brent and Angel Rhodes out of Texas, but we're actually Brent's from South Carolina. But um,
South
if you are
Cackalack.
familiar with, huh?
I just said South Cackalack. That's all.
It's all calculated. If you are familiar with Marriage of God across social media, if you're familiar with Angel and Brent, please do me a favor, send up a prayer for them. But we're not going to get into all of the details, but just send up a prayer for Marriage of God and Brent and Angel Rhodes. We really appreciate you guys for all they do on social media, helping marriages and couples. And that's what we'll talk about today is marriages. So buckle up. Let me get I'm going to play the intro that I have because AD is on vacation. So he hasn't had a chance to send me the new stuff. So I'm going to
Phew.
play the old stuff until tomorrow. All right. So hang tight. All right, we back in the building. What's going on? Welcome all of our folks that normally come in. Deborah, Lisa, Sports Car Lady, everybody comes in. We really appreciate you. If you have not had a chance to share, go ahead and share this out. Uh, believe it or not, you guys, before we came on this morning, this today's show was actually canceled. It was actually canceled, just so you guys know that. But Dwayne came through and was like, "No, brother, I'm here," and here we be. So let me shout out Dwayne. I appreciate you, brother. I really do.
I
Uh,
appreciate y'all, bro.
so we are up in the building. So as I alluded to earlier, we're talking about marriage today, and the title of the topic today is how. What's up, BJ? The topic of today is how soon is too soon to get married. This is to get married. This is a topic that Dwayne brought up yesterday, and so we're gonna talk about it today because it's good because everybody on the panel uh, that are here, we've all been married multiple times. If you notice that.
Mama McCrory, what's up?
Hey, Mama McCrory, what's going on? Yeah, so we've all been married multiple times. So it is a thing of, how soon is too soon. So Dwayne, this is the topic that you brought up. I'm gonna give you
Yeah.
the floor and let you roll with it. And I'll interject when I need to. So go right
Yeah.
ahead, brother.
I, you know, everybody got a different answer and everybody feel differently. And one thing that I can say that I've seen in other people and I've seen in myself, you can get advice from somebody, and because it's not what you want to do, you still like, I'm a grown man, do what I want to do.
Right.
But I'll say my youth pastor, shout out to Outreach Family Fellowship, Dillon, South Carolina, Bishop Michael and Louise Goins. But my youth pastor, Charles Berry, the late great Charles Berry, he used to sing this old country song. I think it was. I don't know. It could have been an old R&B song. He just sang one line to us, and we was kids, and I remember it. He would be like, I ain't finna sing it, but take time to know her. That's what he was saying to us.
Take
And,
time to
and
know.
then and I never understood why he was said, but when I graduated high school and decided to drop out of college and go to the army, um, it made sense then. I still didn't listen, but it made
Yeah.
sense. He was putting little tidbits in us even as kids about marriage.
Right.
And he would drop it every probably once a week. He'd say, "Take time to know her." He'd sing it. And he look at it, he was like, "Boy, you hear me? You hear me, boy? Take time to know her." So I think how soon is too soon when you don't truly know the person you're marrying. I
Yeah.
think that's my easy answer.
That's the easy answer. I'm
That's
gonna give
my
you.
easy answer.
I'm gonna give you a funny answer.
Okay.
How soon is too soon? It's too soon when you don't know her last name.
Ooh,
That is too soon.
that's soon.
I did, and to be truthful, I did that. My very first marriage, I did that. And so, just in
Okay.
case you guys are wondering how many times Terry been married, I'm on my third marriage, and my very first one, I got married. I was 19. Uh, hey, honey, she is up and bright eyed, but still, thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. Um,
Hey, Miss Melinda.
19. I was
Okay,
19 years
okay.
old, and what happened? This is how I met my first wife. My cousin hooked me up with her. This is she called me up one day. She said, "I got somebody." No, and she said, "I got somebody I want you to meet." I said, "All right, cool." And then I go meet her. They're telling it is, baby, it is. And so I go meet her now. But what my cousin didn't tell me was she had got stood up at the altar 2 weeks prior. So she was getting married to somebody else, but he stood her up. So she was in this whole thing of getting married. And so as soon as I met her, she was like, "Okay, we getting married. When we getting married, da 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 da." And we got married. I think we were together maybe 6 months, maybe.
Whoa, 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 whoa. I
And then we
thought you
got
were gonna
married.
be like 6 days.
No, it
Six
wasn't that.
months.
It wasn't that quick. And,
Six
and then
months. You ain't know her last
you see,
name.
you know what I'm saying? Listen, man. I it might have been. It might have been sooner. It may have been sooner than that, but I don't remember.
But I
I
thought you.
was in
But
there.
but but you say you didn't know her last name. You know, I thought you was gonna be
I
like
still didn't know her
days.
name. I was
What?
blinded.
It,
Thank you,
it was
Trevor.
it
I
was
was blinded.
little. It was little at that point, right?
Rolo said there's always three sides to every story. My side, his side, your side, their side, and the truth. We don't know. I think that's very true. And so yeah. And so I met her. I know we got married 2 weeks later. My bad. This is my first one. Yeah, I've got
Two
bad.
weeks.
It was 2 weeks, and it was just kind of like, let's go down since you've been hurt. Let me go ahead and fix that. Let me go ahead and marry you, man. When I tell you, and the fact that it produced my youngest daughter, um, I don't speak ill of it. But when I tell you, it was an absolute disaster. But that's another story all in itself. So yeah, that's my funny side. Yeah, if you don't know her
Wow.
last name,
Yeah,
don't do it.
that is crazy. Oh, but to Romelo's point, what's going on? What's going on? You're absolutely right. And all you can do is speak your truth. And like Terry,
Hey, yeah, plus.
I I am on my third marriage. So I got some experiences, and most of it does dealing with yourself.
Yeah.
That's what most of it is dealing with yourself. So I my next one, my next reason
Hey, Camille.
or next answer, I should say, is when you still got issues, it's too soon, no matter how long you've known her.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't ready to commit fully, if there's parts of yourself that you still telling yourself lies that you have started to believe, you're
Hmm.
definitely not ready. It's too soon. It's
Yeah.
definitely too soon.
You know, too soon is like it's too soon is a known understatement. Actually, um, what I what I realized, what I found out later, and this is after my second marriage, and I lost everything, and it was just crazy. What I realized is that I was in no position emotionally to be with someone less long, marry them, because all I did, who had that song? I think it was Erykah Badu, and she had that song called "Bag Lady."
Mm-hmm.
Right? I was the bag dude. Hey Elizabeth, hey y'all, over here on my page. Appreciate y'all. Make sure y'all comment, share the broadcast out. I really do appreciate that. I got Miss Camille. I watch her every morning, whether she knows it or not. I don't tell her, but Miss Camille McKenzie, voice for the women. I was the bag dude, and I carried all of my emotional crap from one to the other. It's like, I would go from one to the other and never unpack.
Mm-hmm.
It would just be in the corner of the house, and just waiting for me. Oh, here's Pastor Brian. Hey, I got a guess. Pastor Brian's in the house. What's up, Pastor B? Get me around here. And I just get to flowing. Hey, Camille. Is that First Lady? Till I say what up. Hey,
what up?
Hey, good morning.
You
could hear me.
Nah,
Good morning, brother.
Good
Like
morning.
happy winning Wednesday.
I like that winning Wednesday.
Yes,
I need to
winning.
put my Superman shirt
Okay,
on.
in Jesus' name, let me go. Come on.
Yeah. So yeah.
Locking the door behind the door.
And so yeah, and so I would just carry from one to the other, and not care. I destroyed people along the way and not care. I had no business being married either time that I got married. Not once I shouldn't have got married. But I've had my youngest daughter, Brianna, was produced out of one, and my oldest girl's already here, and then so I had Brianna, and then I went and my second marriage was lengthy, but it ended up not good either. You know what I'm saying? So I was just not emotionally ready as a man. So we have to get to the point as men that we shouldn't. But sometimes it's peer pressure. What do you think?
I don't know about peer pressure. I think it might be pressure down below.
Pressure down below.
I think that's why a lot of men get married. They want to do it the right way. But they just don't have the patience. They're ready.
Hey Elizabeth, what's going on? I mean, it's
Can I ask what the question was, brothers?
Cash, we're talking about marriage today. How soon?
When it's too soon? How soon is too soon?
How soon is too soon?
Yeah, the first thing I said was everybody on the panel, everybody that's been part of Puzzle Legacy have been married more than once, and so we're just discussing how soon is too soon to get married.
It's a relative question. I don't know what you all's answers were, and I apologize for being late. And
it's okay.
Happy Wednesday to everybody that spoke to me that I haven't had a chance to speak back to. Bless you.
So here was the quick two answers that was given before you came on. The first one was, well, Terry's answer. He had the funny answer. Terry's answer was when you don't know her last name.
Yeah, I did that.
Okay.
And then my answer was when you know you're not ready to commit.
Okay.
And then you just heard then you heard what Terry just said just now.
Too soon.
So I was looking at an answer that Romello put out there. How you doing, brother?
Real quick.
And Romello said statistics show that long-term marriages don't work.
Right.
He said because if you really ask people, they're not happy. When we started, I think we had I can't remember the last time I was on. This is how crazy my week has been.
I feel you. It's
I don't know if I was. I think was I on Monday? I believe I was on Monday. I wasn't on yesterday. But Monday I talked about foundation. Remember, if you don't know the Lord.
Right.
Yes, that was Monday. Yep, absolutely.
And so there are foundational principles when it comes to relationship. And if you don't, it's not about having mastered the foundational principles of relationship building. It's about just knowing what they are.
Right.
And the reality is, we talk about man, woman, and God as the center. But we know that there are people who don't know the Lord that are happily married.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible says, for what does it profit a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? So it's not like you can't be happily married and not know the Lord.
Absolutely.
Right.
Right.
So the point I'm trying to make is, when is the right time, or when is it how do you know it's too soon? I think it's a relative statement, because you can't tell me anybody that stepped into a marriage. At least I have not met anybody that stepped into a marriage that did not step into it with question marks, that did not step into it with uncertainty. Marriage is as much a leap of faith as anything else in your life. So how can you actually be ready? You can have a mindset that is ready, and then you have to walk that thing out, because you are walking in uncharted territory. When two people coming together from two separate households, from two separate belief patterns, as far as, you can come together, both believe in God, and you can both be Baptist, you can both be Protestant, you can both be Lutheran, but you come from different households. Your parents had different rules. And you have to learn to work and live together, right? So how can you actually be ready? You can have a mindset that says, whatever I'm going through, whatever we're going to do it together. That's about as ready as you can be for marriage. And there are other things that I can put out there that let you know that you're ready. But the reality is, most people probably think the day after that it was too soon.
Yeah. Hold that thought. We got one more guest just popped in here. So we're gonna say hello. I'm gonna bring in guest on.
Hey.
Look at this one right here.
What up?
Hey, what up,
I'll be
AD?
sure. Oh, that's AD.
Yeah, that's I'll be sure on vacation.
There you go.
Don't wake me, I'm dreaming.
And that's Christopher Williams, but we won't hold that against you.
No, I know. I was giving him a second one. Chris, he looked like he played in Jack City.
I'm loving that. I'm loving
But
that.
I wanted to comment. I said all that to comment on. Welcome, AD. To comment on. So I'm typing a code in, y'all. Y'all have to forgive me. I wanted to come back to Romelo's comment about people being unhappy. You can't blame a marriage for your happiness.
Right. That right there.
That part. Yeah.
I like
right.
I was thinking that.
Because a marriage does not define your happiness. Your relationship can impact your state of mind.
Right.
Right. But it does not define it.
Right.
You define your happiness.
You're happy.
You decide how you're going to live.
Right.
Even my dog agrees. The dog was saying, amen, sir.
It was saying, preach, pastors.
So, me and my wife have been together 23 years. We've been married 22 years. Our anniversary is the anniversary of the day we met. We got married 1 year later of the day we met.
Nice.
Right. And we have been to hell and back. My success in my marriage isn't based on my happiness.
Mm-hmm.
My wife does not determine what level of happiness I have. I've got to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's got to work on her own happiness. And then collectively, we enhance each other's lives. If you are not happy with yourself, you're not going to be happy in any relationship unless it's one-sided and they're just giving you what you want.
Right.
Right. So if you're not vested, you're right. You're not going to be happy. I've known people that were married 50 years who wouldn't trade each other for nothing in the world. For nothing in the world. Right. And what they say is we've never had a bad day. What they mean is when I count it all up, I cannot complain when I look at where I am today. My wife and I have been to hell and back. We have committed crimes against each other. And that's real. Before we really came to know the Lord, or before we really came to understand what it is to really give yourself to somebody, releasing yourself to somebody. My son says, I think it's natural to question. If you don't question it, maybe, well, I don't know. Some people have a lot of confidence, B.
Yeah.
But when I look at my wife today, and I think about the pain I've caused, the pain she's caused, because you're gonna hurt. Love hurts, man.
Boy.
You understand? Marriage will
To
teach
your
you a whole
spirit.
lot about yourself.
Yeah, well.
Right. And so I look at her today and I say, man, if I had to go into battle, I mean, literally, if I was going into a fight, where I wasn't sure I was going to walk out alive, if it was a fight to the end, I don't know any homie that I'm calling.
Yeah.
If we gotta go down, I'm calling my wife.
Yeah.
That's what's going into me. You hear me? And I have more confidence going to battle with her than anybody else on the planet.
Yeah.
On the planet. Because I don't think there's anybody else on the planet that's gonna fight as hard as she will with me. So I'm saying, to me, and I know that's kind of a corny way to put it, but coming from the hood, being in the gang growing up.
That's 23 years of experience with knowing who riding with you and knowing who ain't riding with you. That's what that is.
Yeah. And that's marriage. You know, I can put my money in your hands and don't have to worry about it.
Exactly.
I'm not worried about your secrets.
AD? But before AD jump in real quick, I just want to let y'all know that y'all just got that gym for absolutely free 99.
Yeah.
Charging y'all, man. Anybody who married or almost there, y'all need to come back and watch that once a week. What he just said, watch it once a week for the next 6 weeks.
Yeah,
I'm telling you. But I wanted to rephrase the question just a little bit to kind of hone where we were going with it initially. But that was absolute fire. If I was Kevin Hart and I had those special effects, I'd say, get fire on him. That's how that was. But so AD, in your mind, if you had it all over to do, right, and you go back, at what point do you say, I gotta at least have these things ready before I get married? What are some things like that would consider you not ready for a marriage in your mind now?
I mean, honestly, like if I was like right now, what I know now, if I was to go back, honestly, I would want for us to probably do more of a comprehensive premarital class.
Somebody else said that.
Like to get more wisdom going in. Like I honestly, like I was ready to do it, like, because everything else you can kind of navigate and figure out, but having that bond and understanding what marriage really means, I think is the biggest thing. I wish I would have known. Like, what does it really mean? Like, we had one little half-hour session with the pastor, and that was it. Like, and I got, I don't know if everybody's seen the triangle with, it's you on this side, her on this side, and God in the middle kind of thing. But we needed a lot more than that, to really understand what we are getting into, because marriage is kind of complicated because you got two people that come from two different places, two different backgrounds, and how do you gel this together and make this thing work? So I would want more counseling beforehand. I think that would have been, it would have been tremendously better. Like, and because my mind, I would go home and like, oh wow, this is really deep. Like, this is more than I really thought about. And I would have been more prepared. For my changes, her changes, the ups and downs, the ebbs and flows, and you approach it differently. So I think that counseling would have made a huge difference for us. I think that was the main thing. And as far as timing, I believe it at least a year, because there's so many things that happen in the year, seasons, attitudes, changes. If you're together, the puppy love kind of dies down a little bit, and you kind of can adjust. At least a year for me, would seem like an appropriate amount of time. Unless it's 6 months of craziness, where you can really learn who the person is, I think for me is at least a year. But yeah, for me, counseling would have been my biggest thing. That's all, honestly. Like that's
But that's key though. That's that foundation.
Yeah.
You don't master the principles, but at least you know them. You understand them more, so you go in with your eyes open.
Right.
That's what you're saying.
Because then going through something, I could whip some notes out. Like, okay, Pastor talked about this. He talked about this. Let me see. Something like we always talk about. If there was a book,
right?
Your book. Read this, and you'll know everything. At least at least have an understanding. Like, okay, don't react like this. Don't try to change. When you get into an argument or fight or whatever, you're like, okay,
pick your battles.
I'm not here to win. I'm here to get a resolve, get an understanding. So I know some frame of reference to go back to and kind of get through the humps and bumps. Something go wrong or whatever. So that would be mine. The counseling.
Real quick, let me go ahead and reset the whole podcast here. If you are in here right now on Facebook and Periscope, please go ahead and share the broadcast out. If you don't know where you are and you're new, it's your first time here, please put first timer in the comments so we'll know. We can acknowledge the fact that you're here for the first time. Go ahead and put that in the comments so we can say hello to you. But we are the Brothers of Legacy -1. He is on, it's his birthday month, so his wife taking him out of town. Whatever, Chris.
Okay.
But happy birthday anyways.
Shout out.
One right here. We have Brother Dwayne Goodson right here, a former officer of the Atlanta Police. We have AD Walker right here at the bottom. The AD Walker helps us across social media. And here we have Pastor Brian McCrory in my other corner. He was the pastor of Solomon's Temple Ministries down there in Jonesboro, Georgia. So if you are in Georgia, make sure. Well, not yet. I don't think they're gathering yet, but virtually, catch them on Facebook. You can listen to all sermons and Bible studies on Tuesdays and Sundays.
Normally.
So if you are up in here, first timer, all my first timers, check first timer. All right. So real quick though, before we go any further, un momento. Are you mute? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm muted. There was a comment from Romello, but if you're going on to something, just
no. We're
finna
hit my Romello real quick because Romello and we love Romello here at the Brothers of Legacy. He's come through and made some comments, so I want to read through a few of those.
Yes.
We're gonna go back up to let's be real, 64% divorce rate. Are there that many people getting love wrong, or how does that institution really work? If it's a 64% divorce rate, and I get the number,
but you're not getting divorced because marriage doesn't work. See, I think
that's the people don't work.
Yeah, I want to make sure we're putting the fault in the right place.
Right. Let's
not say that because 64% of people are getting divorced that marriage isn't the right thing. Let's say that that's how selfish we've gotten in our relationship building. That's how lost we are when it comes to the institution of marriage. Marriage, the foundation of marriage, it really is, people say, well, you got to love somebody, you got to be in love. I don't know the difference between loving somebody and being in love. I'm still trying to figure that one out.
You're right.
Right. Well, I loved him, but I wasn't in love with him. Well, I loved her, but I wasn't in love with her. I'm still trying to define that. What's the difference between those two? I don't get that one. I think that's one of the biggest tricks you can have, and I think it's a cop out, is what it is. The Bible says love covers a multitude of sin, which means love will help you and cover your mistakes. Right. Repentance is a turning away. Right. So I'm saying there are a lot of things that we get wrong, and we put that wrong in the marriage, and the relationship breaks down. What I've learned is a lot of folks weren't married in the first place. You didn't get married because you said I do. You didn't get married because you signed the contract. This is a spiritual thing. This is a covenant between two people. And if you did not really establish the covenant, you didn't get married. I don't care what the paper said. So I'm saying it's really about understanding what you're stepping into. It's about setting effective and proper expectations for what direction you're headed in. When is it too soon? When you don't have any expectations. If your expectations is we're going to live happily ever after, you living a lie.
Meow, 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 meow.
Right? Because happy is an emotion. Happy is not a spirit.
Yeah.
Right? Which means it's going to fluctuate. And if you think you're just going to be happily ever after, I don't know what to tell you. You're going to go through some things. You know, so what I'm saying is you gotta set the right expectations. And if you don't know what to expect, how are you ever gonna learn what to respect?
Ooh.
I love that. And I'm a piggyback right there. I'm a piggyback right there. But could you put up his initial comment?
Well, Jefferoni, hold on.
What the divorce rate?
Commitment is with man, covenant is with God. Jefferoni. Now, I that got me started. Before you give your answer, respond to that, Dwayne.
Okay, and I love that because marriage started with this lane. Christianity, well, not Judaism. I guess we'll go there first. Marriage started with that, and then it branched. So when you talk marriage, you got to talk the origin of marriage. And you can't talk the origin of marriage without discussing what he said. Mm-hmm. Covenant is what God presented us with. That means you have a part, I have a part, and these are the answers. Anybody who's not walking in a relationship where that covenant is put first, then what ends up happening is all you can do is commit to each other. That's all you can do. And there's a huge difference between commitment and covenant. That's why what Pastor just said about when he made the comment, you're not married if you haven't planned this and expected this. You're not married. That's why when he made that comment, it moved me because literally you have the truth of what marriage is, and then you have the suit that everybody else follow without accepting the truth. So that's the difference. And what I was going to say when I said I was going to piggyback off of him, what I was going to say when I said I'm going to piggyback off of him earlier is the truth of the matter is, okay, yeah, this is mine here. You can put them on. The truth of the matter is when you get married, some people don't get married with the intention of committing or having covenant with people. What most people do is they get married because they're horny. They get married because they don't want to be alone. They get married because they homeboy, they homegirl got married, and somebody got a family. So they still don't enter into the marriage the way they're supposed to. It's just a social contract with them. And there's a difference. And you want to know why those rates are so high? This is the reason why we have the show, why we did this topic. Those rates are so high because too many people are sex partners before they're friends. Yeah. And then guess what? You're going to get divorced. Some people see you physically and how beautiful you are. And guess what? When that beauty runs out in your eye, you're getting a divorce. Yeah. See, when you go about it the right way and you establish covenant, and I know it sounds like semantics to some people, but there's a difference. When you establish covenant and you get to the point where you can take those biblical principles and make it wisdom for your life. So submitting to her husband becomes the easiest thing in the world when that man is loving his wife the way that Christ loved the church, because that kind of love is that love that transcends that 64% divorce rate that says when you slap me or when you cheat on me or when you don't got my back or when I go through postpartum depression, you go drinking with your friends and on PlayStation 12 hours a day. That love says, you know what? I'm putting all of that behind me. I'm you and we're going to rock with you because Jesus literally he died for us when we rejected him. He died for us when we didn't believe in him. He died for us when we didn't think about committing to him or anything else. So the reason why is because people they take the principles and they apply them and they get a product. But you can't have the product without embracing the giver and the producer of the product. And that's why we have a 64% divorce rate. And it probably goes up to about 70, 80 the second time or the third time. Got to be willing to put in the work.
All right, right there. Dwayne did a whole sermon. It's time to take a break. We'll be right back. All right, and we're back. So, Purposeful Forever. This guy down here at the bottom, him and his wife, that is their show that rocks on Monday right here on Facebook. So, if you have not seen the episode, they be clowning, they be getting into it. They really have a good time over there. So, make sure you join them up on Monday. Okay, so I want to go back and just pick it back off something Dwayne said a little while ago. Listen, if you out here, you watching me on Periscope, you watch us on Periscope and Facebook, and if you get married because she's pretty, something wrong with you. Listen to me. The Temptations had a song. I was in Four Tops. Who had the song? Beauty's the only skin deep. Right? That's a true statement. AD look like y'all know that song. We don't just I think it's Temptations. But nonetheless, don't do it. Like I said, my first two marriages, man, were complete disasters because I was nowhere. I wasn't trying to be committed. I wasn't trying to be that. The first time I got married, this is scary talking. The first time I got married for stature because that's what she wanted. Because she had already, been down the aisle. He left her hanging. I wanted to be the rescuer. I wanted to be the guy that fixed it. And that's the reason why I got married at 19 years old. I had no business getting married at 19 years old. I didn't know nothing. The first thing about it, it's just like having a baby. I didn't know nothing about. I don't know nothing about birthing no babies. Nothing. You know what I'm saying? I didn't know how to change the diaper. I didn't know how to love her. At that point, I didn't know how to love me. So there's no way I could have loved her properly. I think that what Ramel was talking about, this is 6% divorce rate because they go in with the not knowing, the knowledge of. I know some things you learn during the process, but I didn't have the tools to go in. I had no business going in.
Well, Dwayne said something, about going in, for the physical. And I will tell you, one of the greatest mistakes that we make is, I think somebody said I need to live with her first. Sometimes we make the mistake of comparison. Mm-hmm. There is a reason why you're supposed to keep yourself.
Excuse me.
The reason why you're supposed to keep yourself is so that you only know your mate.
Right.
And a lot of times we destroy relationships because of comparison.
Yep.
That happens. Yeah.
You're not like such and such that I used to be with. Oh, I thought you were this, or I thought you were that. What put those thoughts in your mind? Was it something I did, or was those thoughts planted by something that you saw somewhere else?
Used to. Right.
When you see me, are you looking at me, or are you looking at your ex? Or are you looking at what you wish you had? A lot of our faults are through comparison. And that's because we're testing everything out. Right. I used to say, man, everybody should get married at least once so you'll know what not to do. Man, that was the biggest lie. It's the truth. Yeah, because, you get married once, you get married twice, and then it's like, man, I don't want to do this again. And then you end up putting up with stuff that you never would have put up with just to not go through another divorce.
Right.
You understand? So I think that, again, it goes back to the foundational principles. Be married to one woman, be married to one man.
Right.
We have not mastered that.
Yeah, I know.
Right. So that's and somebody said, I think that somebody said, I've got to go back to it. Men's natures. Oh, there it is. Jeff Aroni, men's natures to try to fix women.
Yep.
Let me put this out here right now. This whole concept of she's made me a better man Miss me with that.
Miss me. Where's the
He-
bell at?
Meow, meow, meow.
Yeah, because I can't make you anything. And if I'm coming in it to make you something, then I've already lost.
Mhm.
I've already lost. I think one of the greatest benefits that my wife has provided for me is that when I met her, when we were talking, I looked at somebody and I was like, man, I don't have to make anything here. All I have to do is get in, connect to it.
Mhm.
I think
I don't want to fix nobody. I don't want anybody thinking they can fix me.
Right.
We're supposed to
I
come
mean,
together and enhance one another, not fix each other.
right. Right.
Right.
And I think that's I think, like my wife has helped me see certain things, like I might not have seen before, give me some revelation because, as one person, you don't know stuff, but when you're bouncing it off of someone else, they help you give you another perspective on life and see certain things. So I think that's been what helped me, how we've gelled together. And Romello said, so I'm totally, and Pat already kind of broke it down about, why is it, you guys see me? I look like I'm
Yeah.
lagging a little bit.
No,
As
you
long
got
as y'all hear
no,
me,
no.
that's all that
Yeah.
matters. So Romello said he 100% think you should live with somebody. I totally disagree. That's why we talk about coming together, finding someone that you want to have as a wife, doing the counseling sessions, getting an understanding, and then living together. I don't know, that I don't know, because this just happened. It seemed like this is getting real popular. To living with somebody for
Yeah.
10 years and then get married. Like, what? Why is that? Like, that's just like really blowing my mind. But living with somebody before you get married, what they
Exactly.
say is putting the cart
Okay.
before the horse. Like,
Yeah.
we need
It's a
to
test
do
drive,
this thing
like
in
you're buying
order.
a car.
Yeah.
Right.
It's almost like cheating. Yeah. It's almost like you're cheating. You're cheating in the game of life because if you already live with her, you already know what she's gonna do in the morning. You know how she look in the morning. You know how she. You already know all this stuff. And then you say,
cultures,
Can I be real?
You want to know why they have an endowment? You want to know why families bring people together and they have an endowment? In the Old Testament, when a man and a woman came together, the Bible says in Deuteronomy that the man was never supposed to go out to war. He was supposed to have enough money saved up, where in the first year of marriage, he had no other commitments whatsoever. The first year of marriage was so that a man could come together with his wife and they spend the whole time just getting to know one another with no outside influences. That's how it was designed. We come together. You got bills, I got bills, you got a baby, or maybe I got a baby, and all this stuff. We got all these different dynamics coming, and we're trying to put all this stuff together in a pot, and we wonder why we struggle.
"Oh, somebody on call." So that's.
I was just gonna say, I look at it two ways. Number one, I've done that every single time I've been married prior to this time, and it didn't work. And then I want to say the simple part, which I'm not going to put all of us in the same boat, but I'll go out on a limb and say at least 70% of all men who say we should live together or don't believe in the sex before marriage, I need to know what I'm getting for life.
Right.
Anybody who uses those terms,
I used to say that.
I've been a man for a long time, and I know I don't speak for every man, but I know I speak for a lot of us.
Yeah.
Most of them just wanted to know what they was getting. They just want to know what it's hitting for.
Yeah. Well, that was my excuse. That's what I used to
call. And so I put it like this: you can know a person without knowing a person, what their breath smell like in the morning. I'll tell you, 95% of America got stinking breath in the morning. That's just a fact. You don't need to stay with a person to know that. Everybody got a couple bodily functions, and they all pretty much smells the same. You don't need to know that. You don't need to live with a person to know that. She probably got some dirty clothes, and every now and then she might throw a sock on the floor, or she might just be a little OCD. But you can have a date at your house and just kick your foot up on the chair, and if she go off on you, you can't just go around. You can know people without being in the same presence. And I'm trying to throw a little comedy relief here, and I understand that. I think
is a
But
part
but
of it.
but
Yes, it
every
is.
morning you gonna smell it. If that's the first thing you do is, hey baby, you
Yeah. Don't
like,
say anything
I
with
don't
H's.
speak to my wife in the morning until if I speak to my wife in the morning, I'm facing away from her. And
You better say, man, would you please say that for the person in the back? I don't think they heard you, bro.
look, if you just woke up and your mouth is warm and dry and
Turn the other
sticky,
way.
before you speak to the person you say you love the most, face the opposite direction
Yeah.
and say, hey baby, I love you. Good
I
morning.
pray with my wife every morning, and I pray with her before I brush my teeth. But I roll over, her head is here, and I turn my head like this. In the name of Jesus. I literally do this in the morning. I turn my head
Oh Lordy
away
Jesus.
from her. I make sure I don't talk too much where my breath don't come back around the corner. Get her.
Love is when you get
Yeah.
it all. I need you to get it all in the
The
moment.
Bible said, turn the other cheek.
My boo right there.
To
You
not
know
want that in my face, because here's the thing. What I've learned, AD, there's certain things that I don't want to know.
Yeah. I just don't want to know that.
I really don't want to know how bad your breath is
We
in the morning.
won. You need to
You can get a
have it
hint.
all.
You get a hint. Hey, when you want it bad enough, you overcome all of that. Love covers a multitude of sin. And some of
You
our
know
brothers,
what?
you can love somebody enough.
We all need to know that. Exactly.
Right? I'm with you, bro. I'm with you. But the longer
Yeah.
you're with somebody, the longer you see, when y'all first get together, it don't even matter. Right? But over time, small things become bigger things. And what I've learned is that when you really love somebody, and this is just the truth, and I say this because a lot of us really underestimate the power of love. Who's saying that song? Learn to respect the power of love. Some of us underestimate the power of love, and that lets you know whether or not it's love.
Yeah.
You understand? And like, see, look, Sam right there, right now.
Yeah, he
You
is.
can look at it right now. And listen, I'm just being real. Loving somebody is seeing them at their absolute best when they're not at their best.
Mm-hmm.
That's good.
When my wife looks at me and says, "Woo, look at you,"
Yeah,
and I know good and well she must be looking for a filter, right?
Yeah.
She's looking for a filter. She's looking through a past. And this is what I've learned is, you can tell me all day long how good I look, but the only time it really matters is when it's coming from my wife, because she knows my ugly.
Yeah, my wife do that to me all the time.
That's when I know it's sincere. So yeah, you can overcome stanky breath, but I'm saying out of respect for my wife, I don't put it on her.
Yeah, she does that. She does that.
I respect it.
All right.
You got to call in the moment.
You just manage.
We trying to man that things up about somebody. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. Mom always got me. She makes a point. Once we get to a certain place, in the marriage, once we get to a certain place emotionally, certain stinky breath, none of that stuff, bothers us, after a while. So she's got a point there. I love that. Thank you, Mom Moses. All right, so we want to go ahead and end it right here. We want to thank you guys for coming.
Can I give you 30 seconds before you wrap it up, though, Terry?
Either way, it's never 30 seconds. I'm counting.
Okay. No, all I was gonna say is just remember, marriage it occurs in a season, and you have to understand yourself and know what you're capable of. If you're honest with yourself up front, and you're not telling yourself things that you hope to know you can do, then you'll be prepared. And you got to take key cues from people who you absolutely know are going to be there for you. You got to have accountability in everything.
Yeah. It was almost 30 seconds. Good job.
Almost.
Pastor B, any closing remarks?
I think I was talking and thinking about the time.
It's fun. I mean, we've had fun with it, but I will tell you something. The best decision I ever made was not marrying my wife. The best decision I ever made was when I committed to my wife.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Marrying her wasn't the best decision. Committing to her was the best decision. And covenant is just agreement. Right. Covenant defined is an agreement between two parties. Yeah. That's why
I'm gonna need you to go back and write down all these gems that you say and write that book called Gems for Life.
He's gonna put them in a book.
Jim for life.
Hey, AD, anything closing? What we got here?
Yeah. If you guys are enjoying this marriage talk, make sure you check out Purpose for Forever every
Absolutely.
Monday at 8 p.m. Just follow me, follow Sassy Sam. You can follow all these gentlemen because they come in and share.
Yeah.
Sharing is caring. So appreciate you guys rocking with us. This has been a great talk. I just want to point out, I've been married to one woman just twice.
Just twice. I've been married to one woman just twice.
A whole nother story right there.
I meant to add that caveat in there because he said everybody been married more than once. I'm like, yeah, but one of us has been married twice to the same wife.
Same one. Right.
Right.
Well, I don't want to put his name. I don't want to put his name inside there.
But hey, you can still, you might be able to say you got two versions, AD.
You can hear Sam. You can hear Sam in the background.
Right.
So she got. So you got Sam 1 and Sam 1.0.
Right.
All right. So before we go though, AD, make sure that when you come back, please give me the new stuff, man. I'm operating on old software over here, so I need all the new stuff. All right. So we're gonna go ahead and get out of here. Listen, the Brothers of Legacy, we go live every Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure we have different conversations. Today we're talking about marriage. Tomorrow will be something else. Freestyle Friday is coming up. This is what I want to propose before we go today. Freestyle Friday. I won't be on the show because this company rally for me at my job. But I want to do a viewer's choice show. So I need for everyone that's watching on Facebook and Periscope to submit a topic that you want us to talk about. Okay. So you either can hit up Dwayne, whoever you roll with on social media, shoot them a comment or an inbox and say, hey, you guys should talk about this, and we will pop that on Viewer's Choice on next week. We'll do it Monday because I won't be on Friday for Freestyle Friday. Also, the Brothers Who Talk tomorrow will go down. We have Jay Hamilton McCoy on, who is a civil attorney out of North Carolina, my hometown, my homeboy. He will be on with us tomorrow. We're talking all things black culture, what's going on with the Ice Cube contract. We're going to go through that. We got a lot of things happening, so make sure you join us on Charles City Direct TV, all that. All right, we're going to get out of here. You guys have a great rest of your day. We love y'all. We love y'all out here in these Brothers of Legacy streets. Huh?
No, just sorry. Slid it into somebody on this.
We love you about these Brothers of Legacy streets. God loves you.
Comment. Yes.
Oh, did he?
I love you more.
Exactly. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you tomorrow.